Take a look at this counter. It tracks the estimated amount the United States government loses every single year to deliberate deception. That number climbs rapidly past standard federal budgets, maxing out somewhere between $550 billion and $750 billion. When most people hear about government fraud, they picture a localized issue. They think of a neighbor cheating the welfare system, or an individual collecting disability benefits they do not actually qualify for. But the largest drains on the system operate thousands of miles away. The real culprits are highly organized transnational crime rings and state-sponsored hacking syndicates. Obsessing over individual, domestic abuse creates a dangerous distraction. While politicians argue over local welfare policies, they are ignoring a multi-billion-dollar breach in national security. To understand how the system became so vulnerable, we have to look back at March of 2020. The pandemic forced businesses to shutter overnight, and the federal government rushed trillions of dollars in emergency relief into the economy, moving the entire application process online. Speed was the absolute priority. To get cash into citizens' hands before the economy collapsed, standard identity verification protocols and security checkpoints were actively bypassed. By prioritizing distribution over security, the emergency response inadvertently laid the foundation for a highly lucrative, permanent pipeline that global cybercriminals continue to exploit today. Foreign syndicates do not even need to hack secure government servers to steal this money. The social security numbers, dates of birth, and complete digital identities of millions of Americans sit on dark web marketplaces, available to purchase in bulk for as little as $2 apiece. Those stolen identities serve as the raw digital materials for automated operations. Criminal rings plug these compromised details into software that generates thousands of fake aid applications per minute. The efficiency of this process is staggering. In just one coordinated operation unraveled by the FBI, international hackers utilized this exact bulk data strategy to siphon $6 billion directly from U.S. unemployment funds. To stop the bleeding, the government introduced new defensive measures. They began requiring live video feeds and biometric identity checks to prove applicants were actual human beings. In response, fraudsters deployed advanced artificial intelligence. They used deepfake technology to generate highly convincing digital masks, effectively tricking live security cameras and bypassing biometric checks in real time. When hostile actors rewrite their tactics using artificial intelligence on a daily basis, static bureaucratic checkpoints stand little chance of keeping the vault closed. The most active target for these digital syndicates today is the Federal Emergency Management Agency, specifically its disaster relief programs. Take a look at this map. Whenever a historic wildfire or hurricane strikes an American community, foreign networks track the affected areas. They immediately cross-reference those zip codes with dark web databases, purchasing the identities of citizens living directly in the disaster zone, flooding FEMA with thousands of fake applications to drain the available emergency grants. By the time the displaced residents secure a reliable internet connection to apply for help, the funds have already been routed to offshore bank accounts. Everyday Americans are left standing in the physical wreckage of their homes, only to discover their digital identities have been compromised and their emergency lifelines stolen by invisible actors. These attacks are highly coordinated. Many of the networks responsible are classified as Advanced Persistent Threat Groups, such as the organization known to investigators as APT-41. These organizations do not operate in the shadows of their home countries. They are heavily resourced entities operating under the active protection of adversarial states like China, Russia, and North Korea. This geographic reality presents a massive hurdle for domestic agencies like the FBI. Federal agents cannot simply cross international borders to make arrests when the suspects are shielded by hostile foreign governments. Because law enforcement jurisdiction ends at the border, treating this as a standard police matter fails to address the scope of the threat. The theft of sovereign funds by protected foreign actors operates as an asymmetrical geopolitical conflict. Yet inside Washington, there is a deep bureaucratic reluctance to acknowledge the mechanics of this crisis. Specifically, federal agencies possess a strong aversion to using the word fraud. Fraud implies a systemic failure and deliberate malicious intent. To soften the blow, bureaucrats frequently pressure investigators to label billions of missing dollars with legally sanitized terms, categorizing the losses as misappropriation or waste. Relying on polite language minimizes the severity of the attacks. By downplaying the intent behind the theft, the government avoids the difficult task of mounting a proper, hardened cybersecurity defense. The loss of hundreds of billions of dollars is not a partisan talking point. Until the United States treats digital identity verification as a frontline national security defense, American taxpayers will continue to fund a massive heist executed from oceans away.